Hello, bonjour. Oh, goodness, Mars. The transit of Mars is a very fascinating one. It's not quite as regular, not quite as predictable as Mercury and Venus. Because if you know the sun sign, for example, right now I'm making this video, we're sun sign Leo. If you know the sun sign, you can have a very good guess. You can narrow it down to where Mercury and Venus is. Because Mercury is either the sun sign, the one right before, the one right after. And Venus is the sun sign one or two before or one or two after. But Mars is slightly beyond that orbit, you know. Um, and so it doesn't have a regular, predictable orbit like Mercury or Venus or, of course, the sun. Um, it's very erratic, and every year is going to be seeing very different Martian energies. It's going to be experiencing a different reality of how to express passions, how to express sex, how to express how energies are flowing, you know, like literally how much energy you have to do things, to accomplish things. Um, and so I find it's very, very, very useful, very valuable to know where Mars is in, you know, the heavens, to understand how it's impacting the entire world, because it's not just, you know, one individual. The transits, where the planets are right now in relation to Earth, in relation to our perspective, influences everybody the same. As far as, it's the same source of energy, I should say. Everybody, you know, is influenced by it completely uniquely by as an individual. But ultimately, for example, right now we're Mars in Cancer. The entire world is experiencing Mars in Cancer. And so, just to have an inkling of where the Mars is and to know just a little bit about each Mars is incredibly valuable. And if you study this and if you look at, you know, in depth where Mars is and also what the different Martian energies mean, for example, Mars in Cancer, soon to be Mars in Leo, after that Mars in Virgo, etc. If you're in tune with that, then you're very much able to free yourself of other people's as well as your own, the most valuable thing. Aggravation, aggression, um, um, honestly, let's focus on that first. To be able to, we've all been in that situation. We've all had that experience of minding our own business, having a very peaceful day, a good day even, and all of a sudden somebody just snaps at us, whether it's a loved one, it's a friend, it's a stranger, and we're just kind of unsettled by it. We're just like, what the fuck, you know, and then we get kind of cagey and defensive, and we just, you know, it's the expression of Martian energies, and to be able to understand where that's coming from is extremely useful. For example, we've been in Mars in Cancer since July 13th, this just to provide a quick example of the making of this video. So it's been about a month, and in that time people have very much exhibited Mars and Cancer energies. They've been living with that energy in their life, which is it's a lot of beautiful things, but the challenges, since that's relevant, I'll start with of being very passive aggressive, not being able to be direct and blunt, and taking things super personally, and holding grudges, and lashing out at people because of emotional biases and stuff. So if you are aware that Mars in Cancer is happening that way, you're not going to take it personally if somebody is, you know, acting that way towards you. You're just like, okay, whatever. They're having, in this case with Mars in Cancer, perhaps they're having family issues, or, you know, something with their mom, or emotionally they're just not, they haven't quite figured something out yet, or yada yada yada. The list goes on, but at least it gives you some food for thought, and it gives you a buffer, you know, from other people's emotions, other people's experiences, and other people's projecting onto you, because ultimately we're all projecting from our own perspective, you know. And so to be able to free yourself of that emotionally and to be able to look at it objectively is incredibly, incredibly helpful, I find. So I'll do a Mars specifically. This is just kind of a general Mars transit video. I'll do specific Mars transit right after this vid, but what else can I say about Martian transit? Mars also influences masculine energy, the male entity on Earth, And so this is very useful to understand how guys especially are being influenced by this, and how it affects us, and how um, we will react, with this Martian energy. Um, Save that for another video. What else could I say about this? It feels good. I feels like a good foundation for Mars transit vids now. But yeah, I find this incredibly useful because Mars sticks with us for quite a while. I want to say it's just over a month, maybe like 40 days. Yeah, 50 days, something like that. So its revolution is quite lengthy. Its transiting each sign is quite lengthy, and it very much influences, of course, naturally, every energy, every planet, every being astronomically. It's going to influence Earth in a very particular way, and it's also going to influence the other influences. For example, just one example, Mars in Cancer has been sextile Venus in Virgo for the last couple of weeks, and that's definitely popped up in its own particular combination. So, yeah, fascinating planet, fascinating energy, and I really, really can't stress, I mean, for me personally, how useful it's been to understand Mars transits, and it's really freed me from aggression and anger from other people, and ultimately that's what life's about, to free yourself of negativity and to embrace positivity and love, and transmuting more negative expressions of energies, like people being violent or lashing out emotionally or verbally or whatever, transmuting that into good stuff, to good feelings, to, for example, with Mars, understanding how to use the energies at play, even so-called challenging energies like Mars in Cancer, Taurus, or Libra, and use that to your advantage and make progress. You can always make progress if you're in tune with the Mars transit happening. Again, just a small example. Mars in Cancer has been extremely useful for home projects, for, shoring up the home, finances, in maintaining the home, and building up resources. So yeah, those are Mars transits. So stay tuned for ever new Mars transits. I'm not really good with rules, especially ones I set myself. Well, that's not true. I'm pretty good with rules I set myself. But I will do Mars transits as often as possible. And I'll probably, from here on out, do Mars transits. It's too much fun, too useful information, I find. So. Namaste.